When we think of our earliest ancestors, a specific image comes to mind: a grunting brute in a dirty pelt, dragging a club. But the archaeological record from the Upper Paleolithic tells a different story. By 40,000 years ago, early humans possessed large, highly developed brains and the cognitive capacity for fluent, complex speech. This timeline visualizes the full span of the Stone Age, stretching back nearly 3.5 million years. All of recorded modern history fits into a tiny sliver at the very end. 99% of the human story happened during this era. Around 24,000 years ago, plunging temperatures caused massive ice sheets to swallow North America and Northern Europe. Navigating this deep freeze required high-level problem-solving and meticulous planning. Survival in the ice was a test of intellectual agility, not raw physical power. Early communities engineered homes in natural rock shelters along riverbeds rather than living deep inside caves. They draped massive hides across the overhangs to block piercing winds and built internal structures framed with a latticework of scavenged mammoth bones. About 30,000 years ago, they developed the bone needle. This small, fine-pointed tool allowed humans to securely stitch materials together for the first time, a shift that changed the trajectory of human survival. Tailors used thread made from wild flax to sew 3 or 4 distinct layers of hide into fitted, waterproof parkas and pants. These garments provided a versatile, layered wardrobe capable of protecting the wearer from sub-freezing temperatures. This collection of stone artifacts shows an array of highly specialized cutting edges. Hunters manufactured distinct compound tools, carving lightweight bone and antler to create interchangeable spearheads and harpoon tips that could be replaced or modified as needed. By combining precision weaponry with layered, tailored clothing, early humans controlled their microenvironment. They applied engineering principles to thrive in climates that would have otherwise been fatal. For decades, anthropology relied on a rigid model that divided prehistoric labor into male hunters and female gatherers. Recent biological and archaeological analyses suggest that prehistoric roles were far more integrated. Early survival was built on persistence hunting. Instead of sprinting to overpower an animal, hunters tracked prey for hours or even days, relying on extreme stamina to run the target to exhaustion. The human female body is highly optimized for this specific endurance. Estrogen facilitates the development of type 1 muscle fibers, which process energy efficiently over long durations, making women uniquely suited for the demands of long-distance tracking. The intricate tattoos preserved on the skin of the Siberian ice maiden point to a position of high status within her culture. Excavations across regions uncover women buried with elaborate grave goods, medicinal supplies, and hunting equipment. Ice Age survival was an egalitarian necessity. Men and women defended their communities and secured resources side by side. As communities expanded, they used parietal art as a method of deep-time data storage. These images served as the group's institutional memory, securing vital information for future generations. This painting of a bison from the Altamira cave utilizes the natural bulges of the rock face to create a three-dimensional effect. The artist leveraged physical contours of the stone to give the animal a sense of volume. This sketch uses overlapping outlines to record a herd in motion. Biologists analyzed the hide shading to identify the season the animals were observed. This catalog allowed hunters to pass down precise migration data, cementing a shared understanding of the natural world. By committing their ecological knowledge to stone, our ancestors built a permanent archive to secure their survival against the fragility of oral tradition. As global temperatures rose and the ice retreated, human communities began a fundamental shift toward the domestication of the landscape. This process began with the wolves. By sharing excess meat with lone cubs, humans transformed a wild competitor into a dedicated hunting partner and companion. Groups discovered that planting specific seeds yielded predictable crops. Storing grain in ceramic pots created a reliable food surplus, which eliminated the requirement to follow migrating herds. This view of Skara Brae reveals the architectural consequences of that food surplus. Populations constructed permanent, heavy stone foundations with an organized layout. Inside, residents engineered stone furniture, like built-in shelves, and some structures even featured indoor toilets linked to local streams. Because these stone structures were permanent, families could no longer resolve interpersonal conflict by simply moving away. To protect their harvests and maintain their shared infrastructure, these early farmers developed formal mediation and the foundational mechanics of a shared society. This pairing of a carved stone mold and a finished bronze axe head illustrates the transition into the Bronze Age. Around 3000 BC, humans learned to melt copper and pour it into these precision-cut stone casts. Metalworking was built directly upon the systems perfected in the Stone Age. It relied on established trade networks, a stable agricultural surplus, and the permanent settlements developed by those who preceded the Age of Metals. Every modern convenience traces its lineage back to the ice. The tailored winter coat, the domesticated dog, and the mechanics of modern industrial agriculture are all iterations of prehistoric inventions. The intelligence that navigated the glaciers, mapped the natural world, and domesticated the wild, leaving behind a legacy of creativity that remains the foundation of our own.